Don't tell anyone, but while AI has been slowly creeping into developer jobs, React devs have been busy. Not with adapting or evolving, nope, they've been caught in a full-on civil war. On one side, the purists, defending the simplicity of React's origins. On the other hand, the new age full-stack evangelists, pushing for a future where React controls both the client and the server. Let's unpack this growing divide and explain where it all started and where it might be going. So, it's May 5, 2025, and welcome to the Code Report. React, the darling of front-end libraries, has gone through some serious changes over the years. What began as a lightweight UI tool has evolved into something bigger. Maybe even too big, depending on who you ask. Originally, React gained popularity for a simple reason: it treated your UI as a function of application state. All you had to care about was how that state changed, and React took care of rendering the view. Easy. Clean. Fun. Today? That simplicity still exists, but it's only one piece of a much more complicated puzzle. React used to live solely in the browser. But now? It's moved to the server, thanks to a new concept, server components. Take a look at this code. It's a valid React server component. It breaks many of the old React rules, like not fetching data during render. Why? Because it doesn't have to follow client-side constraints. Think of server components like HTML template generators. They compute the UI on the server and then ship it to the client. That means faster loads and smaller bundles. Instead of sending entire JavaScript libraries to the browser, you just send the final HTML. It's not just about performance, though. React has always been great at composition, building UIs by combining reusable components. Server components expand that concept across the network. Pair them with suspense, and you can stream parts of the UI to the user as they're ready, improving perceived performance. All of this sounds powerful, even elegant. So why is the community so divided? Well, one word: complexity. Unlike past React updates, where you could just npm install the latest version and call it a day, server components need an entire new setup to work properly. You need a bundler that knows the difference between server and client components. A server that can stream the output to the client. A client-side router that knows how to process the stream. And most developers? They barely know what a bundler is without asking ChatGPT. So, many just don't bother. To address this, the React team partnered with the creators of Next.js, a popular full-stack framework, and bet big that this architecture would become the new default for building React apps. But here's the catch: that bet hasn't fully paid off. If you're a developer, Next.js might not feel like a natural fit, especially if you're not building apps that benefit from its full-stack vision. The added complexity just isn't worth it for everyone. If you're a framework author, this tight React-Next.js relationship feels a little like being abandoned, watching your favorite library get cozy with a hosting company, Vercel, and leaving the rest of the ecosystem out in the cold. And that's where a deeper problem lies. React is becoming harder to separate from Next.js. And Next.js? It's getting harder to separate from Vercel, a company that's ultimately in the business of selling hosting services. So even if you're not trying to use Vercel, you're still getting pulled into their ecosystem when you use React's latest features. So, what can you do if you want to use React without buying into the full Vercel package? Here are some alternatives. React Router v7, formerly Remix, focuses on web standards, and when paired with Vite, it can serve as a solid foundation for a full-stack app. TanStack Start, built by the same developer who's kept the React ecosystem alive and thriving for years. It offers server-side rendering, streaming, and more, though it's still in beta. Roll your own. If your app has unique constraints, sometimes the best option is to build your own framework. And to help you do that, check out React.gg, the sponsor behind today's visuals. Now let me say this: I've seen my fair share of programming courses, but React.gg might be the most interactive and practical course I've come across. You get videos, text lessons, Visual walkthroughs of React concepts. Real-world challenges, like rebuilding a hooks library from scratch, yes, the same one that gets over 300k downloads a week. Whether you're learning React for the first time or trying to get up to speed with React 19 features, like server components, actions, and transitions, React.gg is probably your best bet. And right now, you can grab it at 25% off during their launch sale. That's it for this episode of the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your components clean and your bundles lean.